My name is Anupama. I'll walk you through the technical details of our project, Companion App for Telemedicine. We are a team of 3 members, Pramod, James and myself. These are some of the features of our project. A patient can register himself with our app. Data acquisition happens before the telemedicine session is on. Data visualization can be done during the session or before and after the session is on. The document is shared between the doctors and the patient. The doctor can view the document and prescribe the medications. These are some of the screen prototypes that we have. Initially, we have a login for the doctor and the patient. A patient can view his information, edit the information, and view the session details. These are some of the session details that are found for the patient. He can set up the date and time with a particular doctor, and you can view the previous sessions and the diagnosis which were proposed by the doctor. Similar to the patients, we have doctor information. The doctor can also edit his information, view the sessions and upload the reports and the prescriptions to the patients. He can view the patient details and the diagnosis which were for the sessions done before. And he can schedule a session with the patient. This is the screen when the live session is going on. We can view the live video and the patient details on the right hand side. On the left hand side, we have different tabs for report comparing the results with the previous sessions and the prescriptions suggested by the doctor to the patient. So coming to the app definition, for our app, the example user inputs are sugar level and blood pressure of a patient. There needs to be a resource mapping for these user inputs and the data accepted by the FHIR resources. So there needs to be a data definition that needs to be defined. Visualization for the difference in values between the two sessions are provided by our app. This is the proposed architecture. We will be using JavaScript for the doctor and patient side apps. We will be using the Smart on Fire for the web app development. We will have an instance of a Fire hosted and the Smart will run on it. At the client side, we will be using JavaScript. We may need a separate database to store the session related information. We will use the native JavaScript adapter on Smart. For visualization, we will be using the D3 JavaScript and native JavaScript based tools. For UI, we will be using the HTML and CSS. Once the patient uploads the data, we will use CRUD operations to post the request on the FHIR server. We will use smart data generation tools to update users' data. We will host our FHIR server in the Amazon Web Servers instance. This is the architectural diagram as seen in the proposed architecture. On the server side, we have the FHIR server, which contacts the FHIR database. The Smart on FHIR will contact the FHIR server. On the client side, we have a JavaScript client. We have the Smart on FHIR client on top of it. We will develop our apps, the doctor side and the patient side, two different apps on the Smart. There is a authentication provided by OAuth on Smart. This is the sequence diagram of our project. Our app will contact the Smart using the URL and the authentication context. Smart will in turn contact OAuth for requesting an authorization. Once the user is validated and the context is verified, OAuth will return an authentication token. Using this token, the request for the patient data is given to the FHIR server. The FHIR server will return us with the patient data, and this is given to our app using the HTML and JS. In case of post, we have the URL and the post patient input given to the Smart by our app, which will then use the authentication token and the request for the patient data along with the post request, which is fired to the FHIR server. The FHIR server will in turn return us the patient data and the acknowledgement for the CRUD action. The Smart will help us provide this information to our app using the HTML and JS. This is the GitHub repo of our project. This is the updated Gantt chart for our app. For now, we have completed the survey with doctor and other patients. We have the wireframes and UI mockups ready. We will be starting the development by the next week. This is the Gantt chart with the task breakdowns. These are some of the references.